Hi, my name is Katie. My life before chiropractic care was difficult. The pain I would feel was excruciating. The pain felt like sharp stabbing all through my body, and that there were spikes just holding me in place, and that any movement I made, the spikes would go deeper. I was completely immobile. My whole body would just freeze in pain, and I would drop to the ground sometimes or just get stuck standing somewhere, and even breathing would be so painful that I would just break into tears. I would need help just to get out of bed in the morning, to get into bed at night. I couldn't sleep. It affected my relationships, it affected my social life, putting on my shoes, going to the washroom, standing up when I needed to, driving, even going to class was a big struggle for me. There was no sort of warning sign. It just came anytime at any given point of the day. And during winter times, or when I was carrying a lot of things, I would get really scared because I would really hurt myself. There were times where my friends had to pick me up off the ground or carry my stuff around for me because I was physically unable to do anything for myself. There were times I'd be in a lecture hall taking notes in class, and my whole body would seize up that it hurt to breathe, and I would have to call my husband, and he would literally have to come in the middle of this big lecture hall with 500 students and lift me up and carry me into the car and bring me home. It was embarrassing. It was just so painful that I didn't know what else to do. There were so many things that had to come to a stop because of my pain. All my sports I had to quit. I had to step back from a lot of things that I would volunteer with and the things that I loved to do with my family. I had a lot of fears. I worried about how I would ever have kids. We discussed this and we just thought this wouldn't be an option for us. Getting out of bed in the morning, knowing the pain that I would have to face that day was depressing. It made me very vulnerable. It made me give up on life, and I just had to accept the pain that I was going to live through with the rest of my life. My doctor tried to help me. He didn't understand what was wrong. He didn't understand my symptoms. He didn't really know how to help me because he didn't know the problem. And then we started looking into different doctors. I met the specialist who told me I had rheumatoid arthritis. He told me by age 30 I would be in a wheelchair and I wouldn't be able to get around on my own. He put me on medication that would make me faint and get really sick. My body just didn't react well to it, because we later on found out that that wasn't my problem. I started seeing an osteopath who told me that it was a miracle I could even walk down the aisle at my own wedding. I went to the hospital for x-rays, I did a CAT scan. We tried painkillers, different medications. The painkillers didn't do anything for me. I would try to take different sleeping pills to try to make me feel better and just relax and fall asleep. I saw over 10 different specialists. They did everything they could and no one knew what was the root of the problem. Nobody knew how to help me. I just felt that nobody cared. I felt that everyone had given up on me. They just kept passing me around to different doctors and different specialists, and I just felt so alone. I can't even count how many times that I just broke down in tears, picturing what the rest of my life was going to look like, living with this disease that I didn't even know what it was. People would ask me what was wrong, why I was in such pain, and I didn't even know what to tell them. I just said my back hurt. So there came a point where I just stopped trying. I stopped seeing my doctor. I stopped going to the referrals he gave me for different doctors. I felt that this was something I was going to have to learn to live with. I would be living with pain for the rest of my life. I found out about chiropractic care through Bernice. I was at church one morning. I was limping around like I often did, and she asked me what was wrong. And I didn't really know what to tell her. I just said, this is something I'm living with. This is just who I am, and I've learned to accept it. And she looked at me and said, that's not true, that I could be healed, that I could have freedom again. She told me to come to the place where she worked and meet Dr. Mark. When she told me it was a chiropractor, I laughed. I was a skeptic. I said, no, I'm not interested. Thank you for your help anyway. Honestly, I was scared to meet another doctor. I didn't want to get let down again. I didn't want to feel given up on again. I was really worried because all the other doctors had left me so hopeless. After a while, I started thinking, what do I have to lose? I've tried everything else. I'd heard stories about Dr. Mark and the healing that he had helped people with, and I wanted that. I wanted to try. My first impression of meeting Dr. Mark and his team, I just felt cared for. I felt that they were really looking to help me, and they weren't just looking for a quick fix. They were interested in my all-around well-being, my full and total healing. And that brought me happiness again. It brought me hope. It made me feel like there was a chance for me. When I finally saw my x-rays, I was shocked. I couldn't believe how bad things had gotten so quickly. My spine had looked like someone who was much, much older. It scared me. The first few treatments were interesting. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know what exactly he was doing. They were so quick and painless that I felt nothing was happening. And there were times where I thought, maybe this isn't working. You know, I still felt pain. It started to mess with my head. It started to lie to me and tell me that this wasn't going to work. But I had faith. I kept going. I kept persevering. And Dr. Mark helped me through those times. Dr. Mark was so different than the other chiropractors I had seen. He really invested into my life and my healing, and not just when I was in pain. He would have meetings with us and talk about total healing, about spiritual, mental, physical health. It all was a part of it. He even brought my husband in and helped us to be healthy together. These were things that I never had at other chiropractors. They were looking for a quick fix. After a few weeks, I started to feel like me again. I started to feel that I could walk, that I could do things on my own, and it gave me such hope knowing that even just a few weeks of what difference it made. I just got so excited for what was going to happen over next year. I'm just so grateful that I did find Dr. Mark before it was too late. Today, I feel free. I am healed. I am mobile again. I am able to do things that I once took for granted. I'm happy. I no longer live in fear. I don't wake up anymore scared about what the day might look like or how I might drop to the ground. My mobility is back. I am able to do things that I once loved, to volunteer, and even with my job, it has made me so much better. I'm a teacher and I work with little children, and I always had such a hard time getting down to their level and sitting on the carpet with them. And now I can do my job and I don't have anything in my way or anything stopping me from reaching out to them. The biggest thing of all that has changed is it gave me confidence to know that I can now carry my own child. And my husband and I are now expecting our first baby, and I have had no pain. I feel healthy, I feel happy, and I feel mobile. And this was something that once really scared us and once made us feel that it would never happen. And I feel like it's a miracle, and chiropractic care has given me that chance. My name is Katie, and chiropractic care has given me my life back.